Hey guys, what's up? Okay, so this is part 2 or leg 2 of our trip from Texas to Maine for the summer.
During COVID.
Yeah, during COVID. The whole thing is like, are we going to make it? I don't know. But anyway, this part 2 covers almost 1,000 miles. 2 parks, a Cracker Barrel, and yes, a lot of rain.
A lot of rain.
Details coming up on RV Street. Okay, let's get right to it. The drive to Eagles Landing from Texoma was about 300 miles?
336.
336 miles. And it was nice. Very little traffic. And I will say, lots of trucks.
Yes, there was very little cars, but a whole lot of trucks.
Yep. So it's not your typical drive on the highway. And it was rain-free in the morning, so our goal was to leave early, get to Eagles Lake Landing before it started raining again. And we did. But the night before we arrived to Eagle Landing, they said that what we got in Texoma, man, it came in there like hell. Hell or hail? Both.
Both.
Yeah. I mean, it got so bad up there. The sirens went off in the city for tornadoes. The guy at the park.
The guy in the park went around on the golf cart knocking on everybody's doors, blowing a horn and telling them to go to a shelter.
Get out, because this park, Eagles Landing, actually has a concrete bunker for things. I mean, we're in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And this is what I really feared when we were leaving RGV. I'm like, oh gosh, Joni, we're going up there right in Tornado Alley right during this time. It was freaking me out. But anyway, we got up there, and that's what happened to them the night before. So we get there the next day.
And of course, everything's a big muddy mess again.
Yeah. When we arrived, they had a hand sanitizer right out there in front of the door before you even came in.
Yep. Big sign that says, please use this first. We're like, okay.
And then when we walked in, they had a
caution tape. It was
yeah.
to make it 6 feet from the check-in people to us. There was a caution tape all the way around the check-in desk.
So we had to lean over and hand them our information, hand them our credit card and all that kind of stuff. This Eagles Landing is an RPI Park, so we had to pay $20 a night here. So after we closed all of the registering and okay, here's where you're going to stay and here's your spot and all that, we disattached the tote outside and we were escorted by a golf cart. We went through the ranger station, the arm opened up, and the very first row to the left, we went down there, and that was our spot, I think like the 3rd or the 4th site in.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, where we are right now, we just had to grab a spot real quick to make this recording. So we've got clouds, the sun's coming in, coming out, so pardon us for not having perfect video. But anyway, once we came into Eagles Landing, went down and grabbed our site, we decided we're here for 2 days. All we're going to do is plug in electric.
Yeah.
We're not going to worry about water. We're not going to worry about sewer. We're just plugging in and riding it out because we knew we had a lot of rain on the way.
And it was really messy there also. To attempt that was very messy.
Yeah, I mean, you got mud everywhere. I am not about to drag out all that gear for 2 days. So they were boondocking at Eagles Lake for 2 days.
Except for electric.
In the afternoon, late afternoon, Joni whipped up dinner.
Because today was travel day, I pulled a bag of spaghetti sauce that I had pre-made out of the freezer. Mm-hmm. And I'm boiling some pasta, and I am doing some flour tortillas with an herb spice on it.
And we ate dinner. And the clouds broke, the rain stopped, and we decided to go for a walk. And there was some really nice views at that park.
Yeah, overall, that was a really super nice park. And you can tell they're doing a lot of upgrades to that park, making it really pretty.
Yeah. The park not only sits right around a lake, but they got ponds everywhere. They've got, of course, at every campground, lots of geese, right?
Yeah.
And beautiful ponds, and they had a pool, a really nice pool there. So we continued walking down the road, looking at all the different things. Joni found a couple of signs.
So the guy had one job and one job only. Did he do it right? I think not.
Well, as you know, during this COVID thing, they have shut down all the play areas for kids. But that means that these areas are bacteria free. So Joni has decided that she's going to take advantage of this. Woo-wee! She loves playing in kiddie toys. This actually reminds her of back when she was a little kid, when she was on the little yellow bus. We went down to the edge of the lake and saw the bridge going across to where we ended up going and doing some shopping. What about that woodwork there? Remember that big log?
Oh, there was this like huge fallen tree, and they kind of took the insides out and they planted all these flowers and stuff, and they put rocks around it. It was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. They had a beautiful flowing rock garden.
Mm-hmm. A koi pond.
A koi pond. Yeah. I mean, what we're saying is it was beautifully landscaped.
Yes, it was.
Just too bad it was raining so darn hard all the time.
And icky.
It was just muddy and icky. But you know what? That's just the way it goes. And we made a good time of it.
And we even saw the Eye of God.
It all worked out. We just wish the weather would have been a little bit nicer.
Yeah, exactly.
But now it's time to leave.
Yep.
And where are we going?
Cracker Barrel.
We're headed for Cracker Barrel for a one-night sleepover. So we wanted to get to Cracker Barrel. I mean, again, we're talking about we had a lot of the rain. We had this low system swirling and swirling, and it's kind of right in front of us. We would travel, we'd run into this slow. So we decided we need to get out of here early.
Yeah, we did. We got out of there super early.
We got out of there, I think, like 7:30 or so.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to arrive at Cracker Barrel up in Missouri before the next round of afternoon thunderstorms got there. Well, since we left so early, it was really foggy.
Crazy foggy. You couldn't see anything in front of you.
And we have 340 miles to go.
But we knew that would burn off, once the sun came up, so.
And it did, actually, in about 30 minutes. Once we got out of that valley and onto the highway, it burned off. So this time, leaving Oklahoma and heading up into Missouri, the highway traffic was pretty much the same as it was before.
Yes.
Very light traffic, not many cars, lots of 18-wheelers.
Yeah, Martin made the comment to me, if everybody is at home, nobody's going anywhere. Where are all these truckers going? What are they dropping stuff off to?
I know. I mean, so I even took it a step further. So just think about this for a second. I mean, the highways are just loaded, just thousands of these 18-wheeler trucks. And I'm like, okay, these guys have got to pee. They've got to go to the bathroom. They've got to shower. So where do they do all this stuff? Well, they do it at truck stops, right? They do it. This is where they go. And they're in contact with the warehouses. They're unloading. They're loading.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of one single outbreak of COVID with truckers?
I haven't.
I haven't. Not one. These guys are coming in contact and taking showers in truck. I mean, come on. I think this whole thing is way overblown. I really do. I think it's way overblown. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Tell me how you really feel, Martin.
So anyway, we're continuing down the highway, and we got no rain this day. Travel day, traveling, no rain. Landed at camp, lots of rain. The closer we got to Cracker Barrel, the clouds were building in a lot. I mean, I could look right out the left of my window, and I saw them building, and I'm like, Joni, get on the phone, launch the app. We have an app that watches. It's called My Radar, and she's looking at it. She's going, Martin, I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay. And I'm like, oh man. I mean, it was getting a look.
He's like, are you sure? Because it was really, really black. The skies were getting really black as we're going down the road.
Yeah.
I kept checking it, and he kept asking, and I kept saying, we're good.
So as we got closer and closer into St. Louis, we started seeing traffic build as normal, like you would see on a regular day.
Mm-hmm.
People coming on the freeway, coming off, 18-wheelers, car traffic, probably your normal town around 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Did not look like, oh God, everybody's staying home, stay safe. Nope, everybody's out there doing something. I don't know what they're doing, but there was a lot of traffic. So now we're getting ready and close to exiting to go to the Cracker Barrel. Now, as you can see, as we're entering into the Cracker Barrel, we get down to the back and we have two options. We have the one option that you can see there off to the right, and we could pull in there, but it was sloping down a little bit, and I'm like, gosh, if we parked there, we probably aren't going to be level. And the bedroom slide, when we open it up to go to sleep tonight, it's going to be out towards the freeway. So Joni says, what about that spot right there in front? So that's what we decided to do. We pulled forward and we parallel parked in that very back section. We took up all those parking spaces.
So basically, when we left Grove, Oklahoma, we had 336 miles to go, and 303 of it was on Route 44. It was a great road to travel. Not a lot of potholes, not a lot of traffic, just a nice, easy ride. Also, what makes it a nice, easy ride is our Sumo Springs. I love, love, love the Sumo Springs. I wish we would have gotten them when we bought the coach. They're awesome.
And so you can see, parked here, I am not exactly level, but I did take my phone when we first landed here and launched my leveling app and put it in 2 or 3 different places that I normally do, and we are well within tolerance. The first thing I did is I came out here and turned on the propane and then turned on the refrigerator, because we're going to be boondocking here all night, so there's no plug-in or anything like that. We have onboard water, so we have plenty of water. And now the refrigerator is running on propane. And of course, as you know, when I redid our battery bay, we've got plenty of juice to get us through easily tonight. So we'll be watching TV as regular, cooking our meals as regular. Joni will probably come out here outside and romp around in her bathing suit or something. You know how she gets sometimes. It's boondocking at Cracker Barrel tonight. And as you can see, businesses are open. We're seeing things really ramping up to being about normal.
Yeah, so yesterday I called ahead to this Cracker Barrel just to make sure it was fine that we could overnight here. And I was informed that they are open for business. It's fine to park here. It's opened on a limited customer basis. They're only letting so many in the dining room at a particular time. But you can order online and, do a pickup or, a drive-through or whatever.
So another thing I wanted to bring up while we're parked here at Cracker Barrel is that Joni and I are kind of in an unfamiliar area. Even though we have already been on Google Earth and searched out the area, and it looked like a pretty nice area, but we're here way in the back of the parking lot by ourselves. And so security kind of becomes an issue. I'm not trying to make you afraid or saying anything bad about Cracker Barrel, but we're a couple in a motorhome And a lot of people think, oh boy, they're a target, they got lots of money. So I told Joni, let's keep our eyes open and our ears attentive, watch our surroundings. And I also am carrying my mace gun. This shoots 25 feet. This stuff is deadly. Now, no, I'm not gonna be walking around packing a gun, but I do keep that on my belt and with my shirt over it as I'm outside or whatever, just as a safety precaution. Good morning, everybody. Holy cow, look at this weather. What a difference an evening makes. Well, we're getting ready to get on the road. We're getting a later start than we normally do. It's 8:45. I can't believe we got up this late. But anyway, I wanted to show you something. After using our battery bay all night last night, you can see I have 12.4 volts left. And if I toggle through this, currently I'm using almost 3 amps. And we have a total amount of 74% of our batteries left. So we used 25% of our batteries last night, cooking, watching TV, doing everything that we needed to do. So plenty of power in the battery bay. Okay, so we're all done here at Cracker Barrel, but first we got to get gas. We were not able to top off before we came here. So now we're taking off and we're going to go on the hunt for gas. Okay, well, we had to get gas. And I wanted to show you guys, sometimes this is what you've got to do. I exited the freeway. We had 3 options, BP, Phillips, and a Mobil. And this was the first one we came to, was BP, and it's empty. But I had to come down this street right here, okay? And then I had to turn left down there, come through this parking lot, and I just didn't have enough swing to be able to pull into a pump properly. So I pulled in this way, because there's nobody here. We're not in anybody's way. So sometimes you gotta do it like this. Okay, well, we're off to Batesville now, and our driving trip to Batesville was nice weather.
It actually was.
We were both going, oh my God, it's so good to see the sun.
I was expecting to be moldy at any time if we didn't see sun.
Were you getting moldy?
I thought I was.
Yeah, I think that's mildew. Anyway, it was sweet seeing sun and driving, and again, not very many cars, lots of 18-wheelers.
Yep.
This was another 350-mile day trip. And once we crossed over from Missouri into Illinois and then into Indiana,
Let's just say I was happy we had Sumo Springs simply because the roads were getting really rough.
Yeah.
Coming from Missouri into Illinois, I mean, it was like day and night with the roads. The roads in Missouri were great. Illinois, not so much.
Now, once we got into Illinois, we traveled about 30, 40 miles in, it started to smooth out some, and it pretty much was exactly the same way coming into Indiana. Now, on these roads, though, because they, like we were just saying, they're bad, I will say these 2 states, Illinois and Indiana, had a lot of construction going on. So apparently, they recognize our roads suck.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We're in COVID, right? Stay home, stay safe.
Light traffic.
Yeah. You would think this is the perfect time to get out there and get some stuff done.
Not so much.
No construction workers going on at all.
But lots of construction cones.
Lots of cones, lots of signs. Slow down to 45 if this is flashing.
No workers.
No workers.
Nope.
I'm like, okay, this is a big waste of time. Poor state planning. Jeez, what's the matter with these people? But as we normally do, about halfway through the trip, we decided to stop off at a rest stop and have some lunch. Take a break, stretch our legs. Well, we just crossed over the state line from Illinois to Indiana, and as you saw, we pulled off into the visitor center slash rest area, and Joni has whipped up a lunch with her special cilantro dip and some special chips, low carb chips with that, and a sandwich and so on. And while we eat and take a break, we'll be going online and checking out anybody has given us some additional comments that we need to answer. So we'll be back on the road. Right now it's time for lunch.
So after lunch, we get on the road again, and we're driving along, and we're seeing our typical country roads and, you know, lots of farm area.
Yeah, it was some very nice, which you would expect to see in the heartland. Country scenery, beautiful pastures, farmland out. I mean,
lots of farmland.
Yeah, it was really nice. But as we approached Indianapolis, yep, once again, traffic started to back up.
I get on the app and I'm seeing red where we're stopping, and
We finally came to a standstill.
yep.
It only lasted about 20 minutes, but it's kind of like, I mean, we had just been rolling right along for hours and hours and hours, and all of a sudden, yep, welcome back to the big city.
Indeed.
But after that, it continued to, the traffic broke up and we continued on down the highway. All right, so now it's time to exit because we're almost to Batesville. We're only about 4 miles away.
Yeah.
So we're exiting off the freeway. So we just exited off of I-74. And we are now turning right on 101. And we are headed to the KOA/Thousand Trails Park in Batesville, Indiana. And I'm showing you this gas station up here. This is a perfect gas station to top off right before we go into the park. It's a BP gas station, which is top tier. And as you know, I always like to use top tier. And last year we found this gas station and I'm like, oh wow, this is so perfect. It's right around the corner from the park. So I'm going to show you how we get in and out of here. Now the last time we came in here, I actually had to stop right here and wait until some things cleared. But I'm going to come around the corner here, and you see that end pump right there? That's the pump that I want because my pump, or my gas tank, is on the driver's side. So I can pull right in here, and look at that, the exit is right smack in front of me.
This is a Thousand Trails Park. It's called Indian Lakes.
Well, it's a Thousand Trails/KOA park.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's called Indian Lakes, and yeah, it's a nice park.
It is a nice park. It's a big park.
Very big.
Very widespread. It's kind of basically chopped in half. One half is for RVers that are in and out all year round, or when they're open. And then you have another half, what they call the worker side or worker camp. I don't know exactly the name they use, but there are people who live here year round, but they work here locally. So if you're traveling, they're not going to park you in a site over on that side.
Right.
So when we entered into the park, we could, if you look right there, right to the right, you see how people are parked, how they came in? That motorhome should have pulled way forward, and the other trailer and truck could have pulled more forward. But what they ended up doing is they blocked that whole area. But then Joni told me, Martin, we need to actually go to the left.
Yeah, because where everybody was backed up, that was for the KOA.
Right.
Where we was going, there's a little building. And
A ranger station.
It's a ranger station, and it's where Thousand Trail members check in.
Yeah. So I went to the left, and you can see all that water there right to the right of our motorhome there. I mean, you could, I looked at Joan and I said, wow, they've been getting a lot of water here. We pulled up to the ranger station, and I told the lady, hello, well, I said, hi, I said, we're checking in for Thousand Trails. We have a reservation? And she said, I'm sorry, but we're full.
And we've been having a lot of flooding. We've got flooding issues.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, really? We know about that. We've been traveling through this for the last few days.
Seemed like forever.
She said the park is full. They've already had 2 rigs that sunk in mud and had to have them towed out.
Martin and I are looking at each other like, oh, great.
So she said, you can try looking over here or try looking over there. I don't care where you go. Just find a spot, and I don't care where you go. So we left the toad connected to the motorhome, and we went to the right, which they call section B, and we started driving slowly around, and we ended up actually finding the site that we're in now. Now, this site here was like everywhere else we've been going, muddy, soggy, wet, but it had gravel and it was level. We still had water on board, and I looked behind us and I'm like, you know what, Johnny, I am not walking through all that crap to hook up water, hook up sewer, and all that nonsense. We're just gonna plug in and boondock again for 3 days.
Well, let's say we still have water on board, but we don't have a whole lot of water on board at this point.
Yeah, good point. That's exactly a good point. We both looked at our water supply, and we made a decision that I think we have enough water for 3 days. We're just gonna have to be smart how we use the water.
Super careful about this.
And then once we're all done here, we'll dump when we leave. So here's the thing that we really had to worry about: showers. We bought these a long time ago, and we've used them before, and they're awesome.
Yeah, they are.
Joni's going to demonstrate how these work and how they, how big they are and all that in a minute.
I'm not going to get naked.
Rats.
So I have opened up one of these extra large Epic wipes. They are really quite large. They are 2.5 feet by 1.5 feet. Basically, you would just start with your hair, work on down, do your arms. These were created by an army surgeon. They have eucalyptus oils in them. They actually feel really wonderful on your skin. And I have used these, and when I'm done using it, I feel really fresh and clean.
All I can say is I'm really glad we had these Epic wipes. Especially, I'm glad that she had them. Anyway, you would not believe what's going on in this park right now. Okay, COVID, right? Lockdown, stay home, be safe.
Not so much.
This place is loaded.
Very loaded.
Kids running everywhere, golf carts everywhere, people having campfires and parties and everything, and the kids are over there at the playgrounds playing. Listen, everything here in this park, it's as if it is just normal. The only thing that isn't normal
is if you want to do laundry.
Or if you walk into the office to talk to them, you have the barrier and they're wearing a mask. It's pretty crazy. It really is pretty crazy. But as far as we're concerned, it hasn't interrupted any of our plans. We have been moving through just like normal. And being here in Batesville has given us a chance to actually wash our stinky, moldy, mildewy stuff. And she got to take a shower. But anyway.
So since the laundry facilities were closed here in the park, we got online and looked, and we found a laundromat. It was Batesville Wash and Dry in town. Cutesy little town, by the way. We did a little tour while we were waiting for our laundry to wash, and we got our laundry done. Thank goodness.
Yeah. So I was thinking the other day, Joni, I remember when I was a kid, I used to go to a Saturday matinee.
Yeah,
me
me too.
Did
Yeah,
you?
Yeah.
And we used to pay like, I don't know, 15, 20 cents, 35 cents, something like that to go to a Saturday matinee.
Yep.
Not today. Nope. With today's new technology, all you have to do is take one little finger and go to YouTube and say, watch. You click, watch. And then if you like that video, you take the same finger and you go, I like that video. And if you want to see more of those kind of videos, you take the same finger again and you go, I want to subscribe to that channel. That's free.
Free.
Not 15 cents,
Not 35 cents.
not 50 cents.
Huh, it's free.
Take the finger, click the subscribe, it's free. But there's one more step that you can do. Let's take the same finger one more time to the right and click the bell and be notified the next time we upload one of our free videos. It's amazing. New technology at your fingertips.
No,
Fingertips. So anyway, if you guys really did like those epic wipes, those things are awesome. And let me tell you, wives, the next time your husband is like really funky, or husbands, your wife is like, "Nyeh," and you guys use those epic wipes, you're going to be saying, thank you, Martin. Thank you.
That was epic. I know, right?
Yeah, that was pretty good, actually. Trust me, you'll love these things. They're great to have on hand for an emergency. Again, I want to apologize. I really work hard to try to get the videos looking very nice, the exposures even, and graded and colorized right. So it's entertaining. This video's been kind of all over the board. We really didn't have a good place to mount and shoot our equipment because the place was just so packed. So please accept my apology for that, and hopefully that's not going to happen again.
Yeah, it might.
So this ends part 2, or
Leg 2.
leg 2. Leg 2. That almost sounds like a band. Have you ever heard of leg 2?
No, but I bet we will now.
This ends part 2 of our 2020 Texas to Maine summer trip during COVID. This is RV Street. Stick around.